Okay, so this is the 10 minutes speaking video. Let's start it. Our brain constantly changes. Basically, change if the experience changing. If I put your brain out of your head, if I do some brain surgery on you right now with a wand and I hold your brain in my hand, it's not going to do anything. You can look at it all day long. You did nothing in your body will function. No genome, no genetic information. Nothing will happen, no change which on. The fact that you are alive and haven't done that. The only reason your brain and genes are doing anything is because you are thinking, feeling, and choosing. If frying them up is a switch on your thinking, feeling, and choosing, switches exchange on. We on our thinking, feeling, and choosing. It doesn't matter the factor that the part that we are not have not done enough research on. And it's up to 20 years himself researching. You have to focus on that because otherwise I can use my brain as a skill for everything, which is the age we live in. You can make the relationship work. You got to end HD, what they go, got that's what that's not. Those are effects. I can be raised in the same household, experience the same challenge, the same divorce, the same parents in between. Everything could be identical, the same experience. By 20 years old, I can still view the world in a different way than you did from birth. Did from birth. Totally different. This is why we see studies of identical twins, where we have the one in on age and one get underneath one who's still firing up and still going along. And how you perceive things as your body works against you. Your mind is moving through your brain. Your brain builds that perception basically into your brain, so you're thinking and feeling using one moment of every day. And if you have a type of scenario where I'm constantly seeing a negative of, so if I have now more than 63 days constantly thought in a certain way, I have built a very strong tree in my brain. A tree is a thought, our thoughts are real things. They look like trees. They occupy mental real estate. They're made of proteins. I agree. They are 100, but they are probably right now you are growing at the speed of 400 billion actions. You're converting my words into the listeners into just the brain. But now, if you got a habit, if you've done some sort of years, for years, and you got away for years, because of experience, because of environments. So there's nature you're born with this work a lot design, you in nature, environment and all the stuff you destroyed. Not just I factor the two twins doing through life, something but how they see it. So each experience is now adding more and more layers to my empty core. So here I'm born, but here I'm receiving. I may perceive the two twins, one receives but this is the way they see the situation in this way. Neural networks build in a way, brain. And as you keep thinking in that certain way, so you strengthen. What do you think about the most growth into the toxic? That's the person who actually see that. You can train a person very easily to stand back, observe your own thinking because it's never thinking how we designed. It's quantum physics, all of that. You can stand back and observe your own thinking and you can solve one. You see they are being negative and you see that there is, and then you can keep so by showing people. There's always a way for someone to deceive, but it's not what we choose to do with that. Someone has done something and they've been free for instance, the next 3 days they have write a pattern into the brain, like halfway to like it's just straight, that's why I use this. As a report into all computers, and those computers have been very established. Established when days to build long-term memory. It has 63-day minimum to build a habit, not 21 day. We've been told 63. Anything after that will going to expert level. So if I have 4 years, 6 years being worrying, I'm an expert worry. If this means what 2 am, so who will become, and so I can become the hard work. I'm going to have to do mind work. I'm going to do so advertisement. I have to wait for a little bit of second before I can get back to my work. Just French and French stuff. A management to use emotional signals that express anxiety. I'm going to have to use that to find out what is the cause of why I'm so negative. Not even a long-term memory can be reconceptualized, and this means I'll always remember. So they would say, for example, someone sees the glass half empty. They just mean that this is just like I mean, they're just always going to see the negative first. Every business meeting, they just always see the negative. The person can change their very well be become expert in being negative, but they can actually inquire that they can get to the point where it's on a lot of work that you not go to the pain of doing it. With people don't want to isn't that an edge, but you can change that and reverse the process. The 5 steps. So the 5 steps. First of all, gather. That's a big word for embrace, acknowledge, embrace that you haven't gotta accept this. The second one is you got to reflect. It's a deep reflection. It's a process. It is the most painful part. It is like searching with say my friends. I got a lot of friends, and it's then so they got to first got the patient to heal them. So we got to the pain before how to do it. Do you? So that's a very it's a whole process. It's a very hard. I'm not lying, but it's good. And hard takes time. It's going to take cycle of 1 days. So the second process is deep reflection, where you're basically trying to check back to not necessarily back, but why am I doing this? What are you studying? Your trends. You're looking at your trends, your patterns. So the first thing is to start is to take away. So this is this is an emotional warning signal. My body's got physical warning signals. So you're embracing the emotional and physical warning signals for environment and you for yourself. You've been thinking about this, okay, so why am I always negative? Why am I always depressed? Why am I anxious? And as you go through the process of self-reflection, you're getting to the point where you're just trying to find, get to, is there, if it is little bit of the point where you find, okay, maybe this is the end of the 1 days. You see, oh, I'm anxious because I'm actually trying to be a perfectionist. I'm trying to control everything in my environment. And it's not quite working out. Maybe it's because they're turmoil that you're never deal with. The third thing we got to do tragic process to work, we got to do within we got the brain to do stuff right. The third process is right. When you write, you're killing out a lot of and when I say write, it's literally torn it on the page because you see my sequence have been developed literally spend a minute and a half to 2 minutes doing each of these. You go have a minute and a half. You would reflect for a minute and a half. You write for a minute and a half and then you would recheck. Now recheck is the process where you go back and look for your pattern triggers, your what does it mean. So if you think of I become aware of something going on, I am reflecting where am I feeling starting to get to the root in only a minute and a half, you must move on. Written it down, maybe punch of jumbo you write down. We recheck the looks of your jumbo and try to get some level of order. Then you go to get to ask you get to the level of audience. Okay, that's my little tiny task for today. And it might be simple as when I feel this anxiety coming on, I'm gonna compartmentalize it and I'm gonna worry about it tonight and go walk. But the minutes and a half there will a bit of information you gather with the points you must only get a bit every day. Not everything every day we can't solve it all normalize within every day. It's little things change over time. We try hard and fix it quick. We can't get there. It's a process you have to dig it out of your non-consciousness. It's a deep investigative detective process that you're doing. So let's say now that you start seeing, okay, I'm worrying because of this one negative. I'm starting to get a glimpse of, but maybe it could be this or maybe. So that what can do today? As a little activity, actively active reach. Active reach is then if you see that even that's like a worrying thing, I just wake up and worrying, just that the day I'm stuck in getting a sore. I say, okay, I'm whether I'm worrying or I have to visit work today. It's day one, I've just worried right and actually never stop worrying. So cool, what's my answer bridge? I worry as they hit me in the face. I'm going to say, okay, this worry, I can't deal with it now. I'm going to deal with it tonight. So now it's 6 o'clock in the morning and deal with 6 o'clock tonight. As you go through the day, it isn't that, but also that happens you to set the energy away from your worry. Every thought built in a real living thing. It has energy, it's firing energy. So if I take this worry, toxic, and I say, okay, keep what your boss I'm going to deal with you, discipline yourself, nothing about it. And by the time it's o'clock tonight, comes your later, that thing's lost energy. Back in the 80s, I was trained that the brains couldn't change if a challenge that did work people that had traumatic brain injury, like major, that has been brought off by neurosurgeons and so the deliberate and intentional building of the brain, learning, growing the brain, studying daily, went back to university and then finishing school, getting high grades and Swedish was had been written off principle. I see it happen way too often, not just me. There's many scientists who have seen shown that when you use your mind, your brain will change. Right. So I think that is the end of this 10-minute speaking for today. Right. Um, yeah. So bye guys. Have a good day. Alright, so I'm gonna have like 30 minutes speaking and the 20 minutes speaking French. Actually, maybe so it's gonna be more than 20 minutes speaking, but that's okay. At tonight. Okay, so that's the end for today. Bye guys.